This is the Outlaw Sports Show.
My little special Outlaw Sports Talk.
With your host, Spurge.
I'm your guy, Spurge. You don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about. As you heard, unleashed,
unfiltered, raw. In the game. This is the Outlaw Sports Show.
My little special Outlaw Sports Talk.
With your host, Spurge.
I'm your guy, Spurge. You don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about. As you heard, unleashed,
unfiltered, raw. In the game. This is the Outlaw Sports Show.
My little special Outlaw Sports Talk.
With your host, Spurge.
Welcome to Outlaw Sports Talk. I am the Outlaw Spurge coming to you guys tonight. Sorry I wasn't here on Monday. My youngest son turned 19, so I had to deal with a birthday. So yeah. Look, you see, I've been redoing some stuff here in the studio. I'm going to actually have a little TV back here soon. You never know. Might have some logos going, stuff like that. Who knows? You might even see that little logo right over there. Outlaw Sports stuff. You know, this is Outlaw. I talk about all the top sports news of the day, except UFL stuff. you know, but, but that's okay because I do that on Thursday nights with my man Arlington. We talk all UFL. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow. 8 GMs have been let go. Coach is going to be removed, all of that good stuff. But I'll talk about that tomorrow more. But there is some things that I do want to talk about. I'm going to have our buddy, my brother from the Great White North, Joey, will be joining us. As you guys have been paying attention, Joey was at the World Series and stuff like that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the sports betting because, reportedly, the UFC is meeting with the FBI regarding suspicious betting patterns in the world of sports. I've talked about this on this show. Arlington has talked about it on his show. We've talked about it on the X-Fan show. I mean, listen, there's been the speculations about boxing and betting scandals in boxing for as long as boxing's been around. And now the UFC is starting to talk with the FBI on sports betting. Now, the question is, again, it's like I said, how do we control sports betting? I don't know if you can. I don't know if it even matters. But yes, there are suspicious betting patterns throughout certain details that are not widely available yet. Dana White has confirmed that the organization met with the FBI after noticing unusual betting activity, and the topics of those suspicious betting, the bets have not been concerned in the sports realm as seen as recently in the NBA and stuff like that. I mean, listen, there was the conspiracy that Mike Tyson took a dive for Buster Douglas back in the day when he was 32-1, right? I mean, if you think about it, if you are one of those athletes to where the odds are in against you or in your opponent's favor, and you bet $1,000 at 32-1 odds, you're talking about $32,000, something like that. No, I'm not saying that's what Mike Tyson did. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving that as an example because of the odds that Buster Douglas had. He was a 32-1 underdog. Okay? So if you bet $1,000 on Buster Douglas back in that fight, you made $32,000, right? Now, a guy like Conor McGregor, he's been an underdog in some of his fights. Maybe he's thrown fights. I don't know. I don't know if he has. Yeah, so I mean, there are those things that you can see, right? And suspicious betting patterns. Again, I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, if you're talking about betting patterns and you are the guy on the inside, it's kind of like point shaving. You are the guy on the inside and you need to make some money. Why not do it, right? I mean, it was, the broad contents. The UFC is not only a sport dealing with this issue, it's the NBA has seen related arrest and all of that stuff, I mean, again, this goes back to this, just the suspicious of sports betting. But again, it's funny, like you watch Major League Baseball and you watch the UFC. I mean, you see the logos of DraftKings, FanDuel, all of these guys all over, plastered all over the arenas, all over the canvases, where they're talking about this. But yet they hold the athletes to a different standard, saying, well, you can't do that and stuff like that. Which, hey, I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, But who knows? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this UFC thing plays out with the FBI and all of that good stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I will be following it to kind of look at it and to see what's going on in all that. And we'll follow that story of the suspicious betting patterns in the UFC. I'm a big UFC fan. I love watching it. Amanda hates watching it with me. But we watch it all the time. So, again, to me, if there are some things, I mean, like, look, you had the Aspinall fight and Civil fight. Well, it ends in a no contest, right? So, like, if you had betted that fight was going to end in a no contest, you could have possibly made some good money. You know what I'm saying? You could have possibly made good money doing that. So if you're one of these guys, okay, and you're not getting a big paycheck from the UFC, Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do something to get the fight thrown out to where you can make some money? I know I would. You know what I'm saying? I know I would. I mean, why wouldn't you? You'd be stupid not to, boys and girls. I mean, that's it's the day and the age that we live in this world. Money talks, bullshit walks. It's that simple, boys and girls. You know, if you have an opportunity to make that money, why wouldn't you? If you can make it, why not make it? That's how I see it. I don't know how you guys see it. Anybody like to tell me? Would love to know. It's that simple. I mean, shit, Pete Rose did it. You know what I'm saying? Pete did it. You know, and look what happened to Pete. You know what I mean? Make it make sense. You know what I mean? Make it make sense. Please. Do. Help it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes a lot of sense that if you're somebody, okay, why wouldn't you do it? You know, I mean, I could go right now to DraftKings right now, right? Go right here. I mean, you're right, Jason. I'm not disagreeing with you. He bet on his team to win, never to lose. I get it. But it was still an integrity thing against the league and against the team. That simple. Does it make it right or does it make it wrong? In the eyes of Major League Baseball, it did. At that time, betting was illegal. Now it's so widely accepted now, it's not even funny. Like here, I mean, I'm going to look at this week's card coming up, right? Which, to be honest, it's not a very good card. I'm going to try to find somebody that we all kind of know or something like that. I don't see anybody on this card as of right now. So we'll go to November 15th. See, that isn't up yet. Let's see. I'm trying to find somebody that I even recognize on this card. All right, I'll go with Miles Jones and Daniel Maracas, right? So I'm going to go look at the more bets and everything like that. So, I mean, total rounds 2.5. You got Miles Jones at minus 300. Daniel Maracas at under 2.5 at plus 260. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Keela. The money line is 154 to 185. Now, that's just by going by the rounds. Okay. So if you're a guy, okay, you're the underdog here, Miles Johns. He's got to go 2.5 rounds or more. I'm going to try it. You know what I'm saying? To make the money. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. The sports betting is starting to get really out of hand. And are we really going to start seeing the integrity of sports? Is it really going to start to hurt the integrity of sports? Who knows? Who knows? Nobody knows. We'll just have to wait and see. You want my opinion? I think it will start to hurt the integrity of sports. But that's my opinion. And on this show, actually, my opinion's the only one that really matters, to be honest with you. Because it's Outlaw Sports Talk. That's all I got to say. But we're going to have Joey coming on because Joey's a big gambler and all of that stuff, you know. All right, so let's really get into some NFL news that we have. The Dallas Cowboys have acquired defensive tackle Williams from the Jets. I mean, listen. The Cowboys really need some help on defense. They literally they acquired Mickey Williams from the Jets. I mean, let's be honest. They have nothing. They have nothing. Their defense is horrible. Everything is horrible. You know what I'm saying? Just that simple. Just a bad team, right? They're just a really, really bad team. Now, on that note, the Jets were dealing with some trades because they did some big stuff. Pulled off, as you could say, a trade value type trade and have stockpiled. Yeah, I mean, there you go. And I mean, Derek just said it right here. The Jets have a load of picks coming their way over the next 2 years. You are absolutely right. They do. They are definitely in the rebuilding. The question is where do you go with these players? I mean, are you really going to stick with Justin Fields as your quarterback? So, I mean, if you really look at it, there is one guy. It's kind of right there. On top of all this, in football, college football, his name is Rocco Beck. Dad used to play for the New York Jets. Anthony Beck as a tight end. He is their color commentator in their local broadcasting in New York, in the New Jersey area. So could they be going for Rocco? I don't know. But hell, I'll start it right here on the Outlaw Sports Network or Outlaw Sports Talk. Rocco Beck's going to be going to the Jets. And he's going to be the Jets' future quarterback. Because he's going to be playing for, he's going to be playing for the team that Dad played for. That's all I'm going to say. Now, again, I don't know if Rocco's really going to go to the Jets. But I'm going to say he is. Yeah, that's just me. Anybody want to disagree? Because it doesn't matter if you disagree. Because it's Outlaw Sports. My opinion is the one that matters. No, I'll let you guys. Listen, you're stockpiling picks. You're building your team for the future. It's going to be interesting how this is all going to work. And my mouse just died, so I have to text my lovely because it quit working. Okay, Gene's saying no. He's saying Rocco is not going to the Jets. That's what Gene said. Nah, Rocco ain't going there. Listen, we've seen the Jets do some dumb stuff throughout their years. As Woody Johnson has done some dumb stuff in his years. Just like, hey, listen, just like I'm right all the time. Saying it for the past couple of weeks about a certain league that's got some things going on that everybody said I was crazy. That's all right, Sandy. I still love you. I'm still saying Rocco Beck's going to the Jets, whether you like it or not. And then when Rocco does go to the Jets, I want to hear all of this. The applause for me. That's all I want. That's it. Just saying. Now, no, you're saying Archie Manning to the Jets. That's funny. But yeah, the audience is laughing, Gene. The audience. Derek goes right here. He goes to future Jets picks 2026. Round 1 they own. Round 2 via the Colts. Round 2 they own. Round 2 via the Cowboys. Round 4 they own. Round 6 via the Bills. Round 7 via the Titans. Round 7 another one from the Bills. You go to 27. They have a first round pick. Then they got another first round from the Colts. They got another first round from the Cowboys. Round 2 they own. Round 3 they own. 4, 5. They all own 6. Round 6 they get one from the Eagles and the Chiefs. Not bad. Not bad, boys and girls. Not a bad side at all. But let's look at this. There's one team that is building in everything, and that team is called the defending Super Bowl champions, the Eagles. The Eagles, Amanda says the Vikings as she brings me down. Everybody give Amanda a round of applause because she brought me down some AAA batteries because apparently my batteries in my mouse messed up. You'd have thought I'd have paid attention, but hey, it's Outlaw Sports. So let me go back up to here. So the Vikings and their general manager, Roseman, was not a predominant figure in the all-in moves, right? The team is focusing. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Eagles have done some big stuff. Right. That's exactly why Woody Johnson has fired his GM. I mean, listen. Woody Johnson ain't the brightest, sharpest tool in this shed, right? He's not. We can all admit Woody Johnson ain't very bright sometimes. That's just my opinion. But I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, you have the Eagles who have just went really all in on this stuff, drafting the players. They built their team to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are, I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs right now. I know they have a lot of injuries as of late and all of that stuff, but they're like going downhill. And now you got, so in my opinion, the AFC is completely open. Completely open. Now, I'm not going to say the Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs. Okay. I'm not saying that. I mean, they did lose to the Bills, which me and Arlington both picked the Bills. Okay. Josh Allen is given a great performance on his team. Lamar Jackson has come back for the Ravens. We did our pretenders and contenders. Well, we would do our AFC or our NFC pretenders and contenders tomorrow. I mean, yeah, I mean, look, you can say it right here. You can say it right there if you're a Chiefs fan. I mean, listen, as long as they have Patrick Mahomes and as long as they're still playing in football, it's really hard to bet against the Chiefs, and especially in January. Especially in January when it comes playoff time. It's hard to bet against the Chiefs. Just like it was hard to bet against the Patriots back in the day with Brady when it came January time. They don't even really care about the preseason. They don't even care about the season as long as they make it to the playoffs. Again, if they're in the playoffs, I'm going to be betting on the Chiefs. Regular season, different story. Look, they got some competition there with Denver sitting at 7-2. Sean Payton doing a great thing. I mean, right here, Sean Payton was kind of like this. The last head coach gave away everybody for Russell Wilson. Where's Russell Wilson sitting at? He's sitting up in New York as one of the highest paid backups next to Kirk Cousins, holding a clipboard. To Jackson Dart in New York and Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta. Two highest paid backups. You know what I'm saying? And now, I guess Russell Wilson's broke because Sia is taking him to the bank, and now he's on Cameo. So if you want a Russell Wilson cameo, go get it. I wonder how much a Russell Wilson cameo is. Let's go check, shall we? That would be interesting to see how much a Russell Wilson cameo is. Because that would be interesting. You can get 15% off right now. You know what, Gene? Man, Gene. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't think that would be a bad idea. Because I think Shador is getting kind of stuck to him there in Cleveland. I would be okay with Shador Sanders going to the Jets. I'd like to see what the kid could do. I think the kid deserves a shot. Now, why is the Predator, Mr. Predator, calling me? You know what? Here's what we're going to do. Hello, Mr. Predator. We're live on the air on Outlaw Sports Talk. How can I help you?
What is going on, everybody?
Why are you calling me in the middle of my show?
I apologize, brother. Mrs. P is very, very under the weather.
Oh, well, hold on then. Okay. All right. Hold on. And call Amanda and talk to her. And then I'll call you after the show. How does that sound? And I hope she gets better. All right. Bye. Well, I can't give out the personal business, you know. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Skavansky's got no love for him. No love for him whatsoever. I'd be okay with seeing Shador with the Jets. See what he can. I mean, he's got to be better than Justin Fields. He's got to be. You know, listen. Okay, back to what I said about Russell Wilson. Do you know? I'm going to show you guys what it costs to get a Russell Wilson cameo. A Russell Wilson cameo is going to cost you $333 plus. Let's see what his intro video sounds like. This is courtesy of Russell Wilson and Cameo.
What's up, guys? Russell Wilson here. I'm super excited about doing something I've been wanting to do for years. You guys have been asking for. Inspirational videos about faith, life, sports, anything you guys need, come your way. Unlimited videos on Cameo. Let's go.
But now I got to pay you $333, and you're going to, he's only got 6 reviews, and he's at a 4.5, so let's read him. Anonymous. Oh, this was the best cameo I ever received. Thank you, Russell, for taking my friend's joy so seriously. You are the best. All right. Russell Wilson's getting some credit. Oh, here's another one. Perfect cameo. My buddy loved it. Here's some douchebag that only gave him 2 stars and didn't even give us a reason. Okay. Interesting. So you can have him say happy birthday. You can ask him a question. Receive a pep talk. What else can we do? Russell? Why isn't it letting me see anything else? It's not letting me move over. That's just not very fair. I mean, hey, okay. So I wonder. You want to get a cameo? Book Russell Wilson for $300. Well, $333 to be exact. Plus, I wonder what that means. Like, let's see. I want to do let's see how much a pep talk costs. Continued payment. Oh, I got to write something for me. My daughter is a budding poet. That's what I had it right. So we're going to write that. We're going to go to continue payment. This is what it costs for a pep talk. Wait, hide this video. What is that? What do I got to fix errors? We're just going to put in Amanda's name for right now. She wouldn't want a pep talk from Russell Wilson. All right, now let's see how much it would cost. $333 to get a pep talk from Russell Wilson. Not bad. I still don't see you get a 40-second video. It's an awful expensive $333 gift. But I mean, hey, it's people to do it. But look, the NFL season is getting very, very interesting with the Eagles going and doing all that. You know, the Cardinals. Stupid Cardinals. You know, we bet on the Cowboys because of that stupid little Kyler Murray. And then they sit here and they come back and they just smack Alice because those guys are terrible. You know, so yeah, I mean, just terrible, terrible, terrible. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get what the Cowboys are doing. The Cowboys are so overrated, it's not even funny. They're literally the most overrated team in all of football. The Cowboys have not been relative since 1995. 1995. But yet, we still keep giving Jerry Jones and the Cowboys all the money in the world. All the money in the world. We still keep giving it to them. Why? Why do we do it? I don't get it. Why? Why? I mean, like, look right here. Derek says, if you base it from the points against points for, it's the Bills, Patriots, and the Colts are the best three in the AFC. In the NFC, it's the Lions, Eagles, and the Seahawks. You ain't lying about that. Oh, man. Here he comes. I can't wait. The man, the myth, the legend. My brother from the Great White North. Joey has popped on. I guess he's having some issues. He needs to connect his microphone and his cam before he can be added to the stream. I'm going to shoot him over a message. There he is. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Joey just looks more and more beautiful every time I see him.
You bet.
You're looking good, pal. How are you doing?
I am exhausted, bro. I just raced back, started back at my old job, doing communications works again, and just breaking off the rust. And it's been a busy week. So
well, hold on. Let's really look at your last 10 days, right?
Yeah.
So we did a show last Friday, wasn't it? Oh, a week ago Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
To be honest, I can't even remember the days to be.
Was it really a blur? Okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah. It was last Friday. Because last Friday was, yeah.
Game one. You were at the World Series in the Rogers Center.
Wait, 2 Fridays ago.
Was it 2 Fridays? No, dude. The World Series ended on Saturday.
Yeah, but that was game 6.
Oh, my God. You're right. So it's been 2.
Yeah,
because we were supposed to talk about it Monday, but I had my son's birthday.
It's all good.
You're right. And then Tuesday we were supposed to talk about it, but then I had a meeting that I couldn't get out of, and you got mad at me. That's why you're here tonight. But so we did the video of you in the Rogers Center. So just explain, now that we can hear you, what it was like to be at a World Series.
Okay. So now I can properly articulate. I don't got that big adrenaline rush, so I can properly explain what all happened. So Spurge, it's probably going to go down as one of my greatest sports memories ever. So I did end up going to game 1, as you guys all know, because I called you from game 1. But I also decided to go to game 2 as well, which we talked about on the Friday. And the reason why I decided to go to game 2 was for 2 reasons. A, I couldn't do the game in the Sportsnet Bar and Grill like was my original plan. And right. B, I come to realize you only get so many kicks at the can to enjoy something as special as the World Series. I'm already there. It was just
And you only live once.
you only live once, and it was, it was just shelling out some extra cash, which I had a little bit of extra disposable cash to do so at this time. So I decided to go to game 2. And what was cool about it, even though the Blue Jays lost, I got to experience the highs of the high of the Blue Jays winning a game.
Okay, so let's go there. Let's go there. Game 1.
Okay.
The roller coaster game 1 was.
Yes.
You guys had the highs and then you had the lows.
Yes.
And then you guys had the high because you won.
Yes.
So, like, what was that watching that roller coaster for game 1?
Well, right now, as you're even saying that, the goosebumps are starting to grow on my skin right now, because the whole reason I decided to go and why I love going to sports, like I mentioned before, nothing brings out more passion out of people besides politics and religion, and we're not going down that road, than sport. An authentic passion. So to feel that energy, the anticipation, the what if before the game started, and then to get into the game, and then you're like I literally, once I got in the building, I looked to Johnny, who I partnered up with, and I was like, Johnny, are we at the World Series right now? Like, you had to I'm at the World Series. Like, oh my gosh. And then for the way that game happened, the Blue Jays bats came out, looked like they're going to start to threaten, but then the Dodgers started, building the early lead. And then for the Blue Jays to tie the game, it reset the energy and the atmosphere. And then for them to take the lead and then see the crowd continue to grow and amplify, especially in that 6th inning when all those runs started coming in. And I'm watching home runs landing to the right of me, to the left of me, the Barger home run. It was amazing. And then to leave the building and feel the energy in the streets and the crowd noise and just all that excitement was so fun. And then to go to game 2, what was cool about game 2 was I at least got to catch the outside noise of the building before, after 5 o'clock, because game 1 I raced in there before as soon as the gates opened, so I didn't get to catch that energy of people as the game was getting closer to first pitch, and to feel that energy outside and the noise. And they had live music and chants and everything. It was so cool. And then to be at that game, and the Blue Jays never lost faith in this. Blue Jays fans never lost faith in this team throughout the entire series. Everybody was very optimistic, even after the game 2 loss. We knew we weren't going to roll over the Dodgers. Let's be realistic. They're a good team, and to expect that we were just going to put up 11 runs every game, good luck, right? So, and to see the fans, the commitment, and this is where I'm going to go with the commitment. So I ended up doing game 3, game 4 at the Rogers Center for the watch parties.
Okay, so let's go to that. You were at game 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Then live. Then you go to the watch party, where now they're playing in LA. So what was it like sitting in the Rogers Center in front of this big giant empty field, and you're watching it on a scoreboard? Because I saw game 3. I mean, I guess there was probably Rogers Center's fits 40 something thousand roughly.
It's just under 40. It's 39 whatever and change.
Okay. So I saw the game, and it looked like there was probably 25,000 people there.
I actually asked an usher, and they said for game 3 watch party, over 27,000 tickets were sold.
27,000 people sitting there in an empty ballpark watching a game on the scoreboard. All right, what was that like?
So I just want to add on that, and then I'll come back to game 3. So, or back to game 3. So game 4, there was over 30,000.
Right.
And then I didn't attend the watch party for game 5. I actually went to the Raptors game. But it was, from what I heard from everybody who attended, it was basically sold out for game 5. So each game, they continue to put more and more people into the building for the watch party.
Right.
Now, for game 3, the 18-inning marathon game.
150 Central Standard Time, the game ended.
Yeah, 250.
150.
It was 250, and I'm glad you said that because I literally looked at the clock when it ended, and it was 2:50 a.m. By the time I made it back to my Airbnb was 5 a.m.
Jesus.
When I left the building, there was probably, I would say, 10,000 fans right to the bitter end till 2:50 a.m. Eastern time. So a lot of them, like me, probably took public transit down there, had to catch it back home, and they literally probably went home, showered, had a coffee, and went right back out the door to go to work.
Probably.
So to see the commitment level of people that were willing to do that to themselves showed how passionate it was. And the noise level for game 3 and game 4, if I was visually impaired, I would have thought I was at game 1 and game 2.
Really?
That's how loud it was. That's how energetic it was throughout the entire game with not even a live team in front of us. If I was visually impaired, no shit of a lie, I would think that I was at either game 1 or game 2. That's how comparable the noise, the energy, and everything was. Like, even there was Go Blue Jays chants being created and orchestrated throughout the innings when there's not even a Blue Jays team in the building to hear
Look,
that.
I'm getting goosebumps even think. I mean, look, the hairs. I'm getting goosebumps just even thinking about that. So, like, that's crazy how that worked out. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Then, Joey, let me give you a little more. Okay? You ready? Now, unfortunately, the Blue Jays lost.
Yes, they did.
All right. Now, here's my take before we get to the positive of what this is. And me and you talked about it privately. I was like, look, I'm rooting for the Blue Jays. I mean, hell, Amanda, who never watched baseball, was like, we got to watch the World Series because she was rooting for the Blue Jays because of you. Okay? Now, I say this. I think the pressure got to some of the guys.
For sure.
Because you saw some bad base running, bad decisions, right? Now, that's how I saw it as a baseball person. Okay? How did you guys see it as Blue Jay fans?
I would agree with some of the comment. I would agree with your comments. So one player I don't want to throw him under the bus, but that made a few of those risky decisions. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Yeah.
There was multiple times throughout the series where he made a base running error. He made a fielding error. He jumped the gun in terms of trying to base run too quick or didn't get off the bases quick enough. So a perfect example was Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, was the guy who was trying to score in the 9th inning of game 7 when Will Smith did the double toe tap, get him out. If you go back and look at the highlights, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's lead off of third base is like one step, and that's it. If he would have took another half a step or even started trotting as the pitcher was doing his windup,
he would have been safe.
We score, we win, game over.
Right.
So for myself personally, as a Blue Jays fan, and I will echo this for a lot of Blue Jays fans, we are proud as hell of this team because, first of all, this team finished dead last in the American League East. Nobody even considered us to make a playoff spot or be anywhere close to
a year later.
Playoffs a year later. And the way this team came together and gelled, and what was so beautiful for me watching the interviews after the loss was all the players continued to talk about, the Blue Jays players, this was the best team they've ever been a part of. That's something that was echoed by Matt Scherzer. He says, Chris Bassett was talking about like how special it was, not just for them as players, but for their families and their wives, like how they gelled together. And like Ernie Clement, when he came on, he was like, I've been crying for about an hour straight and I thought I would end, but I just can't stop because I love my teammates so much that I just want to continue to spend some more time with them. And to know that I only got about 3 or 4 more hours of their time and then we're going to all go our separate ways. Like, I'm more heartbroken about that than.
Let's not get it twisted with Ernie Clement, because he might have had the postseasons of all postseasons.
Oh, yeah.
For a player.
Well,
all-time hits in a postseason. What was it, like the second highest?
No, he broke it. He broke
right.
it. So the longest hitting streak was established by, I think it was 2 players. One of them being Pat Borders, who won the MVP for the '92 World Series, and Ernie Clement with that last hit went to 13 games.
Yep,
and it's still ongoing. So we don't even know where this streak may go when he returns.
Right. Well, I mean, that's just for the postseason alone. The postseason alone.
So the next time he goes to the postseason, he could be extending that even further.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, the thing with people, if you have not watched baseball in a while, and Joey, like you said, you guys went from dead last in 2024 to the World Series in 25. This is a team that still has all of its young players still under contract. And even Vladimir Guerrero said, I will take a pay cut just to keep Bo Bichette. And Joey, we talked about it with Bo Bichette, who hadn't played a game in how long?
Was 7 weeks.
And then come into the World Series and do what he did?
Especially in Game 7.
I mean, come on. So, I mean, yeah, I can see how you guys are very proud. Now, here's where you guys should even be more proud of your team, right? So the total, your guys is how many citizens do you guys have in the great country of Canada?
I was informed when I was in Ontario, everybody was telling me we're closer to 40, 41 million, because I still thought we were around 36, 37.
Okay. Right. Now, Joey, just for Game 7, you guys averaged 11 million viewers on Sportsnet.
Oh,
so you're talking what? A third of your population watched the World Series.
Now, let me tell you something interesting about that too there, Spurge. So unfortunately, this guy didn't get to watch Game 7.
Well, yeah, I watched it for you.
I had a commitment that I had to get back to. I was doing my first announcing gig for a men's senior hockey league in Alberta.
Yes, you were.
So unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the game. It was my first kick at the can, so I had to be more focused on the ice. But so we're getting ready to start the third period. And I told everybody at the start of the game, I will not give any updates because I don't want to ruin it for anybody in case anybody's recording it, if anybody still does that, because everything gets spoiled on the internet anyways.
Exactly.
You're on your Facebook timeline or somebody will tell you or text message you or something.
Right.
Anywho, so I'm getting ready to call up the third period. Then one of the hockey coaches comes running up to the announcer booth and he says, "You are not starting the third period." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "No." And the funny thing is we were now in the bottom of the 9th inning. And he says, "The game is not presuming."
Wait a second. You guys stop a hockey game.
A live hockey game.
To finish the World Series.
Watch the World Series. So all of a sudden I was just like, I had my laptop and I got a TV connection where I can actually, I can stream my live cable package off my laptop.
Right.
So as they said, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I'm seeing all the players on the bench huddled around their coaches' phones. I'm seeing little masses of people huddle around whoever has a phone in the bleachers. So to make it more enjoyable for the atmosphere as a whole, I said, okay, I will run the audio through the speakers of the game off my laptop so we can all enjoy it as a whole, right? And have that announcing. And just as I was getting ready to do it, Miguel Rojas hit that home run. The coach came back up. We're dropping the puck now.
There you go. We're dropping the puck.
The fact that we were willing to stop the game and actually see if we were going to win the championship, I just thought it was crazy.
Right. Now, Joey, here's another thing you might not remember. You know, this is the first time since 1993 that the World Series was won in Canada.
Well, and then that other interesting fact too, right? The way the season started, the first time a season started outside of America and ended outside of America.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, Joey, here's another interesting fact. Now, the average viewership for Game 7 here in the United States was 15.17 million. Okay. That's what we're at, like 400 million people in the United States. So we don't even get 1% of our nation's people to watch the World Series.
Yeah, I got you.
Where you guys got 1/3 of your nation to watch the World Series. Now, Joey, combined, this is the U.S., Canada, and Japan. Game 7 was the largest watched game ever in MLB history at 51 million between the three nations.
Nice.
Now, my question to you, Joey, is you had an American team versus the Canadian team, but at the same time, you had, with the American team, you had possibly the greatest player in baseball today with Shohei Ohtani, who is Japanese and from Japan. You had Yamamoto, who is from Japan.
Sasaki.
Sasaki. You're right. What did this World Series mean for just the globe in general?
I think, first of all, any MLB executive, shareholder, stockholder, they are loving it because they just grew this game another level. Like, for example, I'll just say what I feel is what's going to happen here in Canada. So for Canadian sports, because our teams end up being our national teams when they get to the championships, like the Raptors or the Blue Jays, or even any of our hockey teams, even though they might be the Toronto Maple Leafs or last year the Edmonton Oilers, all of Canada still got behind them, right? What it's going to do for the growth of baseball in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you go back and look at the 92-93 World Series. That's what helped develop that next generation of baseball stars that are currently in the league. You know, you look at somebody like the Nailers, Josh Naylor, and I can't remember his other brother there, but, you know, that helped influence that generation. Now, what is this World Series going to do for our next youth and the type of talent we're going to develop and how much better we're going to become as a country in baseball? Like, where I'm getting this all from is I go back and look at what the Vince Carter effect in basketball helped the next wave of Canadians that are now leading the NBA. You look at last year, the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that came from the Vince Carter effect, right? You know, we got another generation that's getting ready to be developed as we speak. That's coming out of the Toronto Raptors 2019 championship victory that saw that and that want to become that. And, you know, so just for the growth of the game within our country, it's so beneficial. So I can only imagine what it's going to do globally when, you know, especially like 2 years ago when I was out in Japan, when I stayed out 39 days in Tokyo, I actually played street ball with some kids in a park, played stickball with them and I was pitching to them, and to see how hard these 8-year-old kids and how developed they were in their baseball skills. Now to see their idols, Shohei and Yamamoto and Sasaki, on that level too, and also bringing in the World Baseball Classic, a year and a half ago. What is it going to do for Japanese baseball? The Vladimir Guerrero effect down in the Dominican. What is that going to do? Like, oh my gosh. Like, I think this World Series just made, and not even just that, like in terms of the everyday nonchalant people that don't even watch baseball.
Well, like Amanda, for example.
Pardon me. Yeah.
Like Amanda.
Or like, for example, I don't mind sharing it. I do counseling, and I was talking with my counselor. My counselor never watches baseball, and she told me she watched every game of the postseason this year.
We watched every game of the postseason. I mean, hell, Amanda made it through. I want to say she made it through like 12 innings of the 18-inning marathon before she finally went to sleep. You know what I mean? But like, we watched. I mean, again, that's for somebody who's never watched baseball, because in her family it was more football. And then here she is with this idiot who I love watching the World Series. I love talking baseball, and then I'm like, oh, I'm happy for my friend Joey. I love watching Shohei. I'm like, shit, I'm going to root for the Blue Jays to do this. I want to see the Blue Jays do it, because I love the Montreal Expos. And then you got the you're talking about the growth of baseball in Canada. You got the documentary on Netflix talking about what killed the Montreal Expos and how much that is still ingrained into that fabric of Quebec in Montreal. You know what I'm saying? And now that you guys going to the World Series, having this young team, if people ain't watching, man, you need to watch the Blue Jays, because they're gonna be pretty good. And especially you got your Savage. I would love to see what he does, because how many starts did he have during the season, Joey?
3 starts during the season. He had 4 starts in the postseason and came in relief.
I mean, what can you say? You know what I mean?
The one thing, though, that Sports Talk is getting a little bit nervous about for this team moving forward is our pitching staff, though. They feel we're going to lose quite a bit, especially out of our bullpen. We're going to have to rebuild that. So that is the one concern, because right now the way they're talking is we'll have Gosman back. We got Trey Savage now. And they're saying Louis Varlin is going to become a starter next year. And then we don't know where we're going after that. I did see this afternoon, though, that Shane Bieber just opted in.
Yep, saw that.
His 1-year deal. So that just added another pitcher. But that's the only concern right now. We feel that we got the depth, we got the youth. We got a decent minors system right now. If we need to go make some acquisitions to bring some more big league ready players to help this team continue to carry that momentum to make the playoffs again next year. So, and just how awesome the World Series was. Like, there's so many different storylines that came out of it and so much history that was made. Shohei with his 5 walks and being on base 9 out of 9 times in that 18-inning game. The 18-inning game being the tied for the longest game in World Series history. Trey Savage breaking the rookie record for most strikeouts by a rookie. Like the Ernie Clement stuff we talked about. Vladimir Guerrero breaking Blue Jays records in terms of the most home runs hit by a Blue Jays.
And Will Smith
has won 6 straight World Series. Did you know that?
Yeah. And
6
not just that.
Straight World Series.
It has caught more innings.
Or 3 different teams.
3 different teams, but it's caught more innings than any other player in history.
Oh, is it?
In the World Series.
Oh, damn.
He has caught more innings than any other player.
Yeah.
In the modern era, in World Series history. Will Smith has. I mean, it really was a really great World Series, and I think it was a great representation. because of the way everything is in this day and age, I think this World Series brought a lot of people together. Like a lot of people who didn't like the Dodgers, even if they were living in America and they're an East Coast team, right? No East though. I mean, nobody from the Mets is rooting for the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? Nobody from San Francisco is rooting for the Dodgers. Yeah. The Padres, they ain't rooting for the Dodgers. So I thought it was a very eclectic World Series in the way that it brought a lot of people together.
I agree. And everybody, not just certain groups of people, all races, because
everybody
all races was represented. You had Asian players, you had North Americans, you had Europeans, you have Latinos, which drew globally all the eyes to watch this series.
And then, my guy, Mookie Betts, always been a huge Mookie Betts fan from the day when he was with the Red Sox, right? And the Mookie now have 4 rings. He has more rings as an active player than anybody else in the major leagues.
Oh, sweet.
And I love Mookie Betts. I mean, I was really rooting for the Blue Jays because I wanted Vlad to win for his dad, because I saw the interview and he's like, Dad, if I win the World Series, because Joey, if you remember in 93, when the Blue Jays won, who had the best team in baseball in 94 before the strike happened?
The Montreal Expos.
And
with Pedro Martinez and Larry Walker and Moises Alou and his
Vlad.
Vlad, and his father was coaching at the time, Felipe Alou, and there's a lot more players that I can't think of right off the top of my head. Even Randy Johnson was on part of that roster before. Well, he was a former Expo before they traded him. Right?
But before the 95 season.
Yeah,
where then they got traded. But I mean, I just watched the documentary and I was like, wow, So I mean, Toronto or Canada could have really had 2 years in a row where they won the World Series.
For sure.
And then
3 years. No, 3 years.
Oh yeah, you're right. 3 years.
94, right?
Right.
And let's not be naive. If that 94 team was still that good, they probably would have still been intact for 95.
That's
now,
true.
I would have never wanted them to win in 95 because I originally grew up as an Atlanta Braves fan. And my favorite baseball player, to be honest, was David Justice, who hit the solo home run in Game 4 to win us the World Series back then.
I was a huge David Justice fan. But
over
I mean,
those, I was just going to say, over those juggernaut Cleveland Indians teams that I can't believe never won. Because if you go back and look at those rosters, man, Manny Ramirez and Albert Bell and Jim Thome and
just nuts.
Mike Mussina pitching. You had Omar Vizquel at shortstop, Sandy Alomar Jr., Marquise Grissom at center. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kenny Lofton. How did
Kenny Lofton? Well, let's not also forget, this is the first time since 2000 that a team has went back to back.
Yep.
In baseball.
Since that 98 to 2000 Yankee squad.
Yeah. So, I mean, in baseball, it's very hard for a team to repeat back to back. And the Dodgers did it. So, I mean, hand-offs to the Dodgers. I think that Toronto next year, if they keep the nucleus together and they do their thing, I have a feeling Toronto is going to go very, very far again in the World Series.
But the last thing I would just like to summarize for this World Series, and I'm not just saying this because I'm Canadian, to be honest, the better team, not individual MVPs, was the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, hands down.
Everything right. They put the pressure on the Dodgers like no other team had. And to be honest, I personally feel the Blue Jays beat the Blue Jays by not cashing in some of those runners when they had opportunities, some of the weird mistakes that happened, like I talked about Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on the base running, to have the weird things that happened, like in Game 6 with the ball getting lodged under the wall. Like,
I know, right? It was crazy. Like, I'm watching this going, oh my God, it was just unbelievable. But Joey, if you really want to get to it, and you're right, you kind of did say that, the Blue Jays were the better team, and it was proven by the runs because they scored 36 runs to 24 runs.
Well, and then I don't know what the Blue Jays batting average was, but I did recall hearing it at the end of the telecast for the World Series. The Dodgers only hit 208.
Right.
So why did the Dodgers win? It was timely hitting at the right time. You know, you go back and look at Game 3. Freddie Freeman hit the home run. Timely hit, got him the win. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, and if you look at it too, right?
Will Smith, Game 7.
If you look at it too, Joey, who had more multi-game home runs? The Blue Jays. The majority of the home runs that were hit by the Dodgers were only one-run hit shots.
Well, and realistically, for a lot of those games, it was honestly Shohei Ohtani leading the way with all the offense.
Oh, here's another stat for you, Joey. The Blue Jays scored 105 runs this postseason.
Wow.
Most.
Ever in a postseason.
Most in a postseason.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
The other thing, though, you got to give respect to, too, is let's keep in mind they didn't play in the wild card round.
No,
so
they didn't.
That's a huge adjustment, because if you go back and look at the Tampa Bay Rays with Randy you go. Help me with his last name. Randy.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
You look at, with him to get that 29 hit record, they played in the wild card. Exactly. He had all those extra games to build up that stat. So for a guy like Ernie Clement to hit 30 hits in probably 5 or 6 less games than Azarina did.
Yeah, there you go, Azarina. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it was, like I said, it was 34 runs for the Blue Jays, 26 for the Dodgers, where a lot of the Dodgers home runs were all one-run home run game or solo shots and stuff like that. I mean, if you're sleeping on the Dodgers or on the Blue Jays, you got another thing coming. Because I think this team is going to be good again next year.
Not just that, I think we're going to be intact for a couple years to come. So, and we got Vladdy locked in for 14 years. So
right, and he's talking about deferring money so they could sign Bo Bichette.
I think, to be honest, I think Bo's coming. Now the thing about it is, I don't know how long the term will be. He might just come back for the 2-year term.
He might,
because he wants that opportunity to do it with Guerrero. Because what everybody needs to keep in mind, Vladimir Guerrero, Bo Bichette, and manager John Schneider all
came up together.
All came up together at the same time in single A ball.
Yep, exactly.
So you know they want it for each other.
Oh, right. Yeah. And this is where I give Vlad a lot of credit for sticking, especially in this day and age, players leaving to go chase money. Yeah, he got the 14-year deal, and he's like, look, I want Bo back. I'm going to defer my money and give money back so we can bring Bo back. And I think that's what's really great about this team, is that he wants to keep his teammate. Yeah. And they want to do this together. So it's going to be interesting. All right, Joey, we're in overtime, but I do got a big thing I do want to talk to you about, right?
Sounds good.
Sports betting.
I don't know nothing about sports betting.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all, right?
You're talking to alias Joey Betts here.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, Joey, we're seeing everything with the NBA. We just saw today with the UFC where Dana White met with the FBI about suspicious betting patterns in UFC, right?
Coming from Dana White?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying.
And his entourage?
I don't know. You know, you had Ohtani, his interpreter, putting bets down, right?
Yeah, I got you.
But Joey, as a guy who I know, has done sports betting and stuff like that, because I've done it here and there from time to time, not all the time, right? Where do you think sports betting is going to lead us into sports? And do you think it is going to hurt sports?
It already is.
Oh, explain.
If I've watched, okay, so I will be turning 43 years old in 2 weeks, and I know I look good.
You are a baby.
In my 43 years of watching sports, you learn to pick up, or you know how sports operates. And the way I've seen the NBA go over the last 3 years, especially, when back in the day, let's go 10 years ago, would a team come back from a 25-point deficit?
Yeah.
This is a daily occurrence now, or a weekly occurrence, where one team will be down by 25 points, whether it's in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, maybe even the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And they're making a comeback within 10 minutes and then winning the game. Now, what people need to understand is there's multiple ways to make bets. You can bet before the game, but you could also bet during the game, called live betting. So this is where I feel things are getting shady, because they're not capitalizing on the pre-bets, they're capitalizing on the live bets.
Yes.
Perfect example. I'll go to the NFL, and this is happening in the NFL as well. And
you're right.
It's like, what everybody needs to understand is not all the players are in on it, but there's definitely influencers who can help manage a game, stretch out a game, delay a game, give extra opportunities, whether it's by ref calls and all these other things, right? And if you haven't noticed in the NFL leads aren't very safe anymore. You got teams coming back 21 points, 15 points on a regular basis. The Denver Broncos 2-3 weeks ago against the New York Giants. On live action, they were like 15-1 before they started to make that comeback. You know, there could have been a bunch of money that was piled on the Giants beforehand or during the game or live during the game, and they want to go back the other way, or during the game they could see where the money sits, so they can influence, let's shift how the result's going to come, because they know the money's over here, not over here, right? So
then like with UFC and boxing.
Well, okay, this is what people need to understand about UFC. Who is the UFC owned by?
It's owned by now TKO.
What else does TKO own?
WWE.
UFC is more WWE than WWE is.
You're right. It really
They're
is.
scripting it to sell storylines, to attract fans, to buy the fights or bet on the fights or watch the fights. It is so scripted. And I'll tell you this, in my personal opinion, it all started with the Conor McGregor-Jose Aldo fight.
Yep, I agree.
I truly believe Jose Aldo took it on the chin and just dropped like a fly, because they needed a new market boy, and that was Conor McGregor. If you look at what Conor McGregor did for the Fertittas and UFC, and where he transcended this business into a marketable entertainment show, and he's coming out WWE style and cutting promos.
I think Izzy did the same thing too with for UFC, where when he lost his title, that he took it on the chin. I think Silva possibly could have done that because Silva got knocked out in his first match and just dropped. You know what I'm saying?
Well, or I'll give you something that just recently happened. The Tom Aspinall fight. I didn't watch it.
I was just talking about it. It ended in a no contest.
Okay, let's break that down. So by that fight ending in a no contest, what comes out of that?
Well, if you were a betting person, for it to be a no contest, 300 to 1, 360 something.
No, I'm taking it a different direction, my friend.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're no
No,
contest,
I got you. No, I got you there.
360, 360 to 1, you put up $100. What did you just make?
Okay, but I'm going to go in a different direction from that.
Okay.
What is the biggest fight coming up, or fight show coming up within the next calendar year from now with the UFC?
Well, it'd be their
what's going to be the biggest UFC fight show coming up within the next calendar year?
Oh, it'd be their 400.
The White House event.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Okay, who's going to be the headline for that?
Well, McGregor already said he'd come out of retirement to fight.
Know, but okay, let's go into the heavyweights, light heavyweights. Who's the big fight?
Well, you have a no contest now between Sybil and Aspinall. You'd want that to be the number one. You'd want that to be your fight again.
No, what's already been pre-scheduled? It's John Jones versus Pereira.
That's right.
Okay. Before this all got to that point, wasn't John Jones supposed to fight Aspinall?
Yes.
By the fight between Aspinall and Cyril Gane going to a no contest, does that make Aspinall look better or worse? And the reason why I'm saying that is because you got people out there that are saying John Jones is ducking the fight, which looks bad for the marketing ability of UFC to market John Jones versus Pereira when it should have been Tom Aspinall. So by making Tom Aspinall look like a bum based off of that result, it gives more credibility to John Jones. And now, even after the fight, I started hearing that Tom Aspinall's this, Tom Aspinall's that. He wouldn't even be able to hold if he can't even finish up whatever happened. Like, I don't even know what happened in the fight, but all of a sudden the tone started shifting where
it did. Sybil was beating him.
Isn't the one ducking. Aspinall's just not a good enough fighter. You know what I mean? Like the narrative changed, the storyline changed by that result.
So I'm looking at the card right now. This is through ESPN, and it says this is on ESPN. It says way too early for the UFC at the White House card, right?
Yeah.
But now, here are some of the fights that they are talking about. And you tell me, would you like to see these fights? Now, this would be the early prelims. Mr. Jim Miller versus Edson Barboza. I would love to see that fight. Well, I would love to see that.
Anybody that's watched UFC in the last 20 years would have developed an attachment to Jim Miller, how he keeps putting himself out there and what a warrior he is. So for me alone, yes, Jim Miller. Yeah. Jim Miller deserves to be on there, 100%.
77 fights between the two of them.
Wow.
Right. Crazy, right? All right, here you go. A welterweight match. Jorge Masvidal versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson 2.
Okay. That one they're playing off of name familiarity. And that's what they got to do too, right? You got to remember they're trying to attract not the everyday UFC fan, but also the people that, kind of watch it, kind of dip into it, that are kind of familiar with it, right?
Now look, they're both in their 40s, okay? Both of these guys are in their 40s. The last time I watched Wonder Boy go, he didn't look very good. Same with Masvidal.
He's done, man. Wonder Boy. They're just using his name to sell fights.
To be honest, I wouldn't want to see that fight.
No.
I wouldn't want to see it. But now, in the middleweights, Izzy Alessandra versus Shane Strickland 2. Would you want to see that fight?
I want to see Shane Strickland. I like Shane Strickland.
I do too. I like Izzy too. I love Izzy.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that fight because it was a great fight the last time.
Now, I guess where I'm going wrong with what I was trying to say is I'm not saying that they're not putting out fights, but they got to make sure that they ensure that the fight is still marketable. So all I'm trying to say is They didn't allow the Aspinall-John Jones fight, maybe because they were worried that Aspinall could beat John Jones. And if they beat John Jones, they can't promote him as the undefeated top pound for pound.
Now,
fighter.
hold on.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I get it, but you ready for this? Stephen A. Smith.
I don't even want to hear what Stephen A. Smith says.
He said it's a shame that John Jones that retired, but he's saying the only fight that would make sense to headline this would be John Jones and Aspinall.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're right. And then look, the GOAT of the women, Amanda Nunes, is coming out. She's already said she's coming back out and she wants to fight Kayla Harrison. Look, you put the Lioness on a card, I'm watching it. I'm watching it.
Okay, so again, look at what the UFC's doing. They're doing exactly what WWE's doing. What has WWE been doing for the past year since they've been on Netflix?
Yeah.
Bringing back old retired stars to draw eyeballs back to watch the product again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for it. I'd love to see the Lioness go at it.
Oh no, I'm
That's
down
a bad
for it
woman.
too. But you see how the business.
Oh yeah. I see it. Not without a problem. Without a doubt, I see it. You know,
they might as well bring CM Punk back for a fight.
No.
UFC 400. You know what? I could even see that happen. I could see WWE do that. Why wouldn't
put a
they?
wrestling match in there?
Cross promote it.
Why not?
It'd draw all the WWE fans again who support those wrestlers to watch UFC if they don't watch UFC.
That's true. You got a good point
on it.
You got a good point. That's a good point. All right, Joey. One last thing.
All right, Spurge. What is it?
One last thing, because my food is getting cold upstairs. Joey, football, you got the Seahawks on, right? Pretenders or contenders?
They're contenders, bro.
You're saying the Seahawks are contenders.
I am saying that for multiple reasons.
Okay,
the
go.
Defense every week continues to get better and healthier.
That's
we are
true.
literally redeveloping Legion of Boom 2.0. And if you go from top to bottom, from our defensive line to our linebackers to our secondary, we're solid from head to toe.
That is true.
This is probably the best defensive line we've ever had, to be honest. And this is even including the Legion of Boom era. Second of all, the familiarity on offense. That's what people don't understand. And I didn't understand it either until I started doing some more research.
Yeah.
All the connections off of the Sean McVay tree and the Shanahan tree. Clint Kubiak, his father was Gary Kubiak. Gary Kubiak was the offensive coordinator for Mike Shanahan back in the Denver Broncos days, right? Shanahan then had his tree of coaches that include Sean McVay and that whole laundry list, right? Then if you go back down and start looking at the Sean McVay tree, he's got Kevin O'Connell, Clint Kubiak, that's all tied and connected here. And then they got former players that have played for these systems. So back in the day when Kevin O'Connell was the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, who was his all-star wide receiver? Cooper Kupp. Who knows how to better run routes and operate within the system and make the blocks and this and that? Cooper Kupp. So Cooper Kupp is teaching that to Jackson Smith and Jigba. And that's why Jackson Smith and Jigba is the best receiver in the NFL this year, because Kupp is teaching them all the tricks that he learned in that system. How to get open, even under double teams, move you around, this, that, the other. Sam Darnold went and played for San Francisco 2 years ago, who had Clint Kubiak as part of their offensive system. Then he goes to Minnesota, where his head coach is Kevin O'Connell, who's back to the McVay tree. So he's been playing in this system that he's familiar with. He goes to Seattle. Clint Kubiak takes the system from the McVay tree, from Shanahan, from his father, makes this magical, better system. And if you look at Sam Darnold, especially this last game against Washington,
played
and not
phenomenal.
only that, he looked like you could see him. He dropped back, look. If it wasn't there, it's gone. And not only that, I've never seen a Seahawk quarterback be so clean in the pocket ever. Even back in the Russell Wilson days, this is probably one of the best offensive lines we've ever had, and that's always been our weakness. Is we every year since the Super Bowl era, because the Super Bowl year that we won, we had the most expensive offensive line. Every year since, we've had the cheapest offensive line year after year.
All right, Joey, we're in week 8, going into week 9.
No, we're going to week 10.
Oh, yeah, we're going into week 10. You're right. And you guys are sitting in the standings
We're
at
tied
6-2.
With the Rams.
A game above the Rams, right?
Third place overall in the NFC right now.
Third place overall in the NFC. So, Joey, right now, what I want you to do. Hold on, I just froze up. Here we go. Hold on, let me go back. Now, I want you to pick the rest of the season for the Seahawks, right?
Realistically, their games they're going to win and lose.
Yeah, I'm going to give them to you.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back. I got to go back. I'm going to give them to you, buddy.
Game. I know, but Arizona's first game this week. That's a win.
All right, okay. So you got Arizona, so that would put you at 7-2.
7-2.
All right, let me go back to here. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Seahawks. Here we go. All right, you ready? Then on November 16th, you play the Rams in LA.
Rams get us.
All right, so now you're at 7-3. Now you go to Tennessee.
8-2.
No, 8-3.
8-3. Sorry, yeah, 8-3.
All right, then you go back home because you got 2 weeks off the road. Then you come back home to Lumen, which is one of the loudest stadiums I've ever been in my entire life. 100%. And I went for a UFL game, and it was still one of the loudest stadiums I've ever been to in my entire life. You play the Vikings.
You get the Vikings.
Okay, so that puts you now at 9-3. Then you go to Atlanta. Now, mind you, Joey, West Coast teams don't do so well on the East Coast.
Yeah, but if you haven't realized, Mike McDonald as our coach is 11, and he's won 11 out of 12 games on the road. He holds the record right now for the most road wins in the first 2 seasons as a head coach with Sean McVay and George Seifert, who took over for a dominant 49ers team.
All right, where are you going?
We win. But but to be honest, that one is going to be a lot closer of a game because for some reason Atlanta seems to come out against good teams and they play down to their level against piss.
Amanda just said, Joey, did you just hate on my Vikings?
Yes, I did. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's going to get his revenge against the Vikings, and the Vikings aren't that good. They don't even have a run game.
Chris, you'd be very surprised on we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to talk about that.
What did he say? Let's see.
Don't worry about it. You want to see it?
Canadians. What is that even? What's the point of that?
I don't know. I love Chris. Chris is sometimes a weirdo. Love Chris though. You gotta love our fans. They're all nuts, Joey. Where are we at, Joey? We're at the
we're 9-3 after the Vikings.
You're 9-3. No, you're 9-3 after the Falcons.
No, we're 10-3 after the Falcons. Then.
No, you said St. Louis. You said Cardinals. You win.
7-3 or 7-2.
7-2. Rams. You lose.
7-3. Oh yeah.
Titans. Vikings, you win.
10-3. We're 10-3 right now.
You're 10-3. Okay. This is in Joey's world. I love you too, Chris.
No, 9-3. We're 9-3. Sorry.
That's what I just said.
Yeah,
9-3.
Sorry.
Colts. Then you come back home to play the Colts in Seattle.
I'm going to say the Colts squeak one out on us.
Wow. Okay, so that puts you at 9-4. Then you play the Rams again in Seattle.
I kind of want to say the Rams get us again.
Wow. Okay, so now that puts you at 9-5.
The reason why I'm saying that is we have struggled mightily
That
over
is
the
true.
last 5 years against the Rams, even losing a playoff game at home for the first time ever against backup quarterback John Wolford during the COVID year.
That is true. That is true. Now, you go to Carolina
Oh,
to play the
10-5.
Panthers.
We're
You're
10-5 now.
You're 10-5, and then you play the 49ers in Santa Clara in your season.
We get that back 11-5. We should have beat 49ers in week 1 if Tarek Woolen would have been aggressive to the ball.
That is true. So you're saying you're going 11-5.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I'm being fairly realistic too. Like, it could be a swap. I could see us beat the Colts or lose to the Vikings. And I'm being realistic. The Rams have had our number, so I gave them both victories. But where I think we'll get them back is in the playoffs.
That is true. And the Vikings might have their franchise quarterback in JJ.
And I
maybe
because I just feel Seattle will learn how they're going to need to beat the Rams, because the Rams has been our Achilles heel for so many years. So I feel, yeah. So,
all right, Joey.
I'm realistic with that.
We got anything else?
Well, my money is where my mouth is. I have the Seahawks to win the division. I have the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl, which I did before the season on a 3-game parlay, which is still intact. I called the Blue Jays to make it to the World Series on that ticket, not win the World Series. I just said make the World Series on both tickets. On both tickets, I got either the Seahawks to win the division or win the Super Bowl. And then on both tickets, I got Connor Bedard to score over 71 points in the NHL for the Chicago Blackhawks.
All right, I got it written down right here, Joey, in my little black book.
Oh, I'm not worried. Yeah, just
where is it? There it is, right there. Right there.
But yeah, I got the Seahawks at 76-1 before the start of the season. That's how that's what the population thought of the Seahawks before the start of the season. I guarantee if you look at the odds right now, they're probably down to 15-1.
That is true. All right, Joey. I love you. I'm glad you got to experience the World Series.
Thank you.
You got to call you after I get off the show and eat dinner, because I do got to discuss something with you.
Sounds good. I hope everybody enjoyed what I had to share in my experience. And for all the single ladies out there,
oh my God,
you can hook up with Spurge and he could share my info.
This is Outlaw Sports Talk. I'm your host, Spurge. Right there is my guy, my brother from the great north, Joey from Canada. I'll see you guys next week. Listen to my outro, Joe.
Oh, should I rip the hair down?
Yeah, told me play it safe, keep it clean for the cameras. But I never learned to cage what burns inside. Building, let's ride.
I'll see you guys.